Here we go again. Things that we have done to hopefully help it work this time. Look how well they're doing. He's having a personal problem. Interesting things you never thought you would run into, much less post on the internet about. Okay, so things that we have done to hopefully help it work this time. I'm going to get Daisy so we can take her to get bred. I believe she is in heat. She's not acting crazy, but she is flagging a little bit today. And honestly, the last 3 cycles, she's been hard to spot. So since she's flagging, the last 2 times she didn't, I'm just gonna jump on it now. We gave her that Bosey shot, the selenium. Hopefully that will have fixed her selenium issue. We have since added, hey girl, see this flaggy here? Yeah. We have added some additional loose minerals for them to choose from. And we're also changing some of their feed to hopefully get a better mineral balance in there to correct whatever the issue is. Funny thing about changing their feed, so we were giving them just a little bit of grain in the evenings, right? And of course Daisy always like wolfed through it and then tried to steal Demelza's. So always had to leave her hooked up till Demelza was done, because Demelza would just pick at it, eat super slow, whatever. Switch to a pelleted food in the evenings. And now Demelza wolfs through her food and then goes and steals Daisy's. But Daisy just kind of doesn't really care for it. Wow. And she was like, totally didn't care that I was hooking this leash on her. I think she knows what's going on and hopefully ready to go. Actually, this leash kind of still smells like buck. So here's hoping that it works this time and that this is the last time we have to make the trip with her this year. What you think, girl? You ready to go? Yeah, it kind of smells bucky, doesn't it? You ready to go see boys? Yeah, that tail tells me you are. Okay, let's go. Come on, let's go. Wanna go see boys? You know the drill. Come on, girl. Good job. Okay, that's that. Daisy was so good. She walked really, really good on the lead until, you know, when we were loading up to get her home, she didn't really want to go to the car. But other than that, she did so good walking on that leash today. She stood really well. We used Chevy. Again, he did his job very, very well. So yeah, and the other breeder, she was saying, you know, that Daisy was looking really good. Now that she's not so fluffy, it's easier to see her shape and such. And she said, yeah, she looked great. So here's hoping that the changes we've made make a difference and that she takes this time. Hard to believe this is still February. It has been so warm and sunny lately, which I am loving. If every winter was like this, seasonal affective disorder would not be a thing. So anyways, I'm out here in my garden, and I had mentioned in my garden planning video about wanting to get rid of these raised beds that were here when we moved in. Honestly, they're really not raised that much, like, you know. So really not raised anyways. They just kind of kept a clearly defined growing space. But I think I would have more growing space, more growing area if I take them out and just do rows. So I have pulled them out. As you can see, they were very much rotten anyways and starting to fall apart. So that was pretty quick and easy to do. Just yanked them out and they just need to be burned or pitched or something. So yeah, now we have these areas no longer have beds in them, so I can just do my rows. I do need to take this out and move it later. So back here is that strawberry bed. I did go ahead and leave the wood around it. It sort of keeps them contained. They have grown over the edge along the fence, but I'm not too worried about it. And I'm not ready to yank all of those plants out yet, though it probably does need done. So I left that one. Anyways, once I pulled all that out, I came over here to check out these carrots that I had left overwintering. They weren't quite big enough to be harvested at the end of the summer. They're still pretty scrawny. So I went ahead and left them in here to see how they would do over winter. And check this out. Most of the greens died back, but as you can see, they have lots of new growth too. And look at these. Look how well they're doing. These guys have, I believe these guys have grown quite a bit. There's still quite a few that are really tiny and still growing, but a lot of them have gotten bigger. Let me see if I can find one to pull out for you. Oh, right over here. Look at this beautiful one. Like, look at that. Barely any greens on it, but still, look at that. They overwintered beautifully. Look how many there are. So, over the next several weeks, we're going to be having some fresh carrots. Some of them didn't do so well. Either they got eaten or just kind of rotted. But a lot of them are doing great. I actually just picked a whole lot of them for dinner, and they are beautiful. I will say one thing about leaving them to overwinter is that, see all those roly-polies in there? Yeah, they can become homes to overwintering bugs. So we will need to cut off part of that, but most of it is really quite lovely. I mean, look at the rest of it. Well, this is a new one for me. We have our drake in here. He's having some issues. I'm not gonna put up pictures or video because I don't want to be banned from YouTube. He's having a personal problem. So male ducks, unlike most birds, have an anatomical reproductive organ, shall we say. And ducks also tend to be very aggressive breeders. And when they have been using said organ too much, sometimes it can get stuck. And when it gets stuck out, it dries out and dies. So this guy, yesterday when I let them out for breakfast, he was having this problem. It's a prolapse issue, and the tip of it is pretty black, like it's died. He has, since separating him, so he doesn't use it, he has managed to get most of it back in where it belongs, but that tip is goner. Honestly, there's not a lot of information available about domestic ducks. And so really having a hard time getting good information, even from other duck owners. Some say, oh, just amputate the tip. Some say leave it, it'll fall off on his own. Some say don't leave it, it'll cause an infection and he'll die. Some even go as far as saying, oh, it'll grow back like a lizard tail. So yeah, I don't know. My real concern is this guy's a breeding drake. That's why we have him, so that he can fertilize eggs and we can have more babies. So what I'm trying to find out is, can he still do that job once this heals? Because if not, then he becomes a freezer drake because he's unable to do the job that he's here to do. So that's where we're at with him. Well, the interesting things you never thought you would run into while homesteading, much less post on the internet about. Yeah, so he's not too happy about being in here. Yeah, if I get too close, he'll hiss at me. He doesn't like me. He's not tame at all. But hopefully this clears up soon. And hopefully I get answers soonish as to whether or not he'll still be able to, you know, perform his duty. I gotta say, night chores go a lot faster since switching their food. Demelza loves the new food that we're using with them now. So she wolfs hers down and then tries to steal Daisy's. So the tides have turned. Daisy didn't really like it at first, but I think she's come around. She's starting to wolf hers again too. So that's good. Makes for a lot faster chore time. We were supposed to be in the morning building a milk stand for in here, a stanchion, for whenever we do get into milk, of course, but then also just would be really handy for trimming hooves, getting injections, things like that, just to, you know, contain the animal. So I'm not trying to hold her still and do those things at the same time. And yeah, hoof trimming is really back-breaking when you aren't able to hold them up on something higher. So you stop eating that. Just trying to get in my egg basket. Anyways, we're supposed to be doing that tomorrow, but it's currently snowing quite a bit. And the high tomorrow is 29 degrees. So we'll see if that gets done. If it does, we will share it with you next week. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this random little snippets of our week. Just little things going on this time of the year, but it is about to get busy. So until next time, see ya.